it's Marika Lake here. I live on the west coast of Australia with my hubby Greg, and we homeschool our 4 kiddos. I have Will who's in grade 8, Em is in grade 4, Cruz is in grade 2, and little Jackson is in pre-primary. And here in the Lake House Homeschool, we have been homeschooling for 4 years now. I have another video for you today in our Homeschool 101 series, and I am going to show you how I set up my children's learning portfolio to show my moderator. So in my previous video in this Homeschool 101 series, I talked about different ways that you can show progress in your homeschool. So when your moderator comes to check on you after you've been homeschooling for the year and to write up your report, you need to be able to show them that your children have progressed during the year. And in my last video, I talked about all the different ways that you can show progress in your children's learning. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how I report progress in my homeschool. I actually use a learning portfolio. And so I'm going to turn this camera around and actually show you how I set up my learning portfolio. And I'll also have some freebies for you as well. I will include the free downloads for the different things that I'll show you in my portfolios. And I'll leave a link in the description box down below to my blog, and if you head on over there, that is where my free downloads will be, so make sure you check that out. All right, let's jump in and have a look at my learning portfolios that I do for my children here in the Lake House Homeschool. So for my children's portfolios, I just use one of these A4 display books, and they just have their name on the side. I choose the ones that have a clear cover because then I can print like a cover page. So my kiddos just have a cover page that just has the letter of their name. But you could put any cover page on here that you like. Your children could create their own cover page. You could have a photo. You could be as creative as you want. If you just get the clear ones, then you can pop that first page in there and then you can see it through. All right, so let's have a look. This one I've set up for my daughter. I have actually used blank pages in here and they're not filled out, just because I want to respect my children and their work. So I will be showing you the pages that we use, but they are actually blank. All right, so we start off with an All About Me page, and I will actually include links to I'll include a link to my blog, and on my blog I will give you access to these downloads. You can download these for free if you'd like to use them yourself and print them out. So just check out the description box down below for a link to my blog, and you can access and print these pages for yourself. So I just start out with an All About Me page that children can fill out. They can draw pictures, or you could actually print off pictures and put them there. The All About Me page is just fun for the kids to look back over the years about what they were into, what they liked at that age and things like that. It's just a fun thing really for the kids to do. Then I have these goal setting pages. Now this one here is where I would actually set goals for my children, and this is then a page where the children can have a go at setting their own goals. This is a really great thing for your children to be able to do. But basically at the beginning of the year, thinking about the year ahead for my children, I will just write down some goals that I have for them that I'd love to see them achieve for that year. So I've just broken it down into, I would set some educational goals. I'll have some extracurricular goals, things like I'd really love them to get involved in sport this year, things like that. We would like to learn how to do snorkeling, fun things like that. Some personal goals and character goals that your children might be working on. It's always great to reflect on that. So for example, if you've got younger children and you really would like them to learn how to, tie their shoelaces, you can write that in there as a personal goal, and any character goals you want to work on. And then this is just a great sheet for your kids to have a go at working on goals for themselves. And so I just did this. I've got writing goals here, reading goals here, and math goals. It's just a good idea. Then they can think about that as they're going about their school year. Okay, on the next page here, I would then include the learning plan. So this is where I would write down all of the things that we're going to be looking at for that school year. So in language and literacy, I would just write the programs that we're using and the resources that we're using. For math, for HAS, the different science books and resources we're going to use. We've got the arts, technologies, health and PE, and languages, and then there's an extra spot there for notes as well. So I'd include that in their portfolio. Then I just have this checklist here. I have shown you this document before. I talk about it all the time. It's from Whispering Waters on Teachers Pay Teachers. What she's done is she's taken the curriculum and broken it down into user-friendly language, and she's done it for each age group, I think from kindy through to grade, I think it goes up to grade 8. So I usually have the skills checklist printed out for that year. So this portfolio belongs to Emily, so she's going into grade 5, so I think this is the grade 5's learning skills. And so over the years I can use this as a checklist and check off when she's achieved those skills. And then I have this form here. Now this is actually the form that I fill out for my moderator every year. So I do one for each child, and I just write out all of the, so for example, this is the English section, so the language and literacy section. Here I would just write out all of the programs and resources that we were using to teach language and literacy, and then I would just write some comments here or some indicators that I've seen progress. So some progress sentences here, you know, I might say, oh, she's improved in her reading this year. She's really reading much more fluently. Her spelling has really improved. You know, things like that. So write some little comments. So I actually fill this out through the year as we go, so that I'm kind of on top of it, and then at the end of the year I just make sure everything's written up ready to show my moderator when she comes back. So I keep that in the portfolio. Then another great idea is to keep a list of all the books that your children read throughout the year. So this is something that my daughter can fill out. She simply can write the title of the book, the author, and then she will give the book a rating out of 5 stars. So what you can do, I have just got a little tick box here. What you could do at the beginning of the year, if you're gathering books that you would like your children to read, you can make a list of them here, and then they can go through. Once they've read it, they can rate it and then tick it off that they have done that. So reading logs are always a great idea. And then I collect writing samples. So I've just got a blank writing sample sheet here that you could use, and they could write whatever the writing project is on this sheet. Or if you didn't want to do that, you just simply gather writing samples throughout the year and include them in your portfolio. I do know that's one thing that moderators do want to know when they come back to look at progress. They're interested in how's their reading going, how's their writing going, and how their math is going. So that's why I always include the reading log and then writing samples. So what I do with writing samples, I will grab a writing sample from first term, then maybe the beginning of 3rd term, and then the end of the school year. And I'll just have the 3 writing samples. I'll pop them in the portfolio, and then we can see how they've progressed in their writing over the year. So as I said, you could use a writing sample sheet like this, or you could just photocopy if they're working in a book, or just grab the sheet out of whatever they're using and pop them into your portfolio. For maths, I always include my maths things in my portfolio for my moderator to see. There's lots of different things you could do for math. We use a couple of different math programs. One math program we use is The Good and the Beautiful, and The Good and the Beautiful math is set out kind of in, I think like there's 4 units to a level. And so at the end of a unit, they will kind of have this unit assessment worksheets at the end, and so what I do is get my children to complete those unit assessment sheets, and then I pop them into their portfolio. So you've kind of got, it's kind of like to see how they were going over that unit and what information they have retained. And then I also use an online program, which is Maths Online, and they have this generated report that you can create inside the program and then print off their results, which is why I love using online programs when they provide the ability to do that. I think that's amazing. So then I just pop their maths records in there as well. And then another couple of ideas that you can do is include photographs. So I just made up this photograph sheet of milestones and things that you've done throughout the school year. So in here I included some of the trips that she went on. She saw a play, she had a ballet concert, we did lots of snorkeling, got a new puppy, you know, things like that. You can always, pop those photographs into your portfolio, especially if you've been creating or making something. You can pop pictures of them during the creative process and then the final creative process. Just for example, here Emily, she made this wall hanging, so I just took a photo of her and just popped the photos into the portfolio just so that we can remember what we have done during the school year. And then I also include any certificates that they've gained throughout the year. So for Emily, she's got swimming certificates. We do swimming lessons a couple of times a year, and then she does dancing and acrobatics, and she receives certificates from that, and how she's progressing through that. So we include that in her portfolio as well. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I hope that you found all of that information helpful. If you have any questions at all, just leave a comment in the comments box down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And don't forget to check out the other videos in this Homeschool 101 playlist. I will leave a link to that playlist in the description box down below for you. Again, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.